The modern business office looks quite different from its counterpart of many years ago. There are many obvious changes. A few less obvious things about the office haven't changed at all, like its productivity. Manufacturing productivity has increased 84% in the past 10 years. The productivity of the office has increased 3%. One main reason for this relative lack of productivity gains, the labor-intensive process of business paperwork. A business letter is still drafted, typed, edited, and retyped exactly as it was 100 years ago. But over the years, the office tempo has increased. That letter has a lot more to keep up with, like the electronic computer, which was developed in our generation to make business accounting more efficient. But the computer's high-speed information output just adds to the problem if it has to be filtered through the office paperwork bottleneck. If all your computer can do is data processing, then it's not doing enough. To improve office productivity, business needs to use the computer itself for faster production of office correspondence. But that's not all. If we put the computer to work on office correspondence, it must be easier to use than what we already have. At the same time, it has to be powerful enough to also do other more complicated tasks. And of course, it should be able to bridge the gap between business communication and conventional data processing. We should be using the computer to integrate all business communication, such as company mail, and data processing, and the management of voice and data transmission, in one modular system that can grow with the company it serves. We've just given you the design objectives of word processing by Datapoint. Word processing uses computers to make business paperwork keep pace and increase the productivity of everyone in the office. The same business letter by word processing. It's typed on a keyboard much like that of an electric typewriter. It appears on the screen as it will be printed on paper. Simple typing errors can easily be corrected by using the backspace key. Word processing uses plain English language commands. They simplify training and speed operations. For example, when the letter is finished, I simply press the Command key and type END, E-N-D. If I want a paper copy of it, I type print. Seconds later, my printed copy is ready. And once I've typed the letter into the system, it's stored on magnetic media for future use. And if I need to revise it, I don't have to retype the whole thing, just the revisions, which are fast and easy. Now, suppose I'd omitted a sentence. At a single keystroke, space opens up in which I type any additional text just like the original. Then, with another keystroke, the space closes up. Or suppose that the text is correct, but I want the letter a different width. I can change that with just a few keystrokes. Other format elements, tabs, page numbering, line spacing, are equally easy to change. And I don't have to wait for the entire document to print to see how my changes will look. Like many business letters, this one goes to a number of people. With word processing, there's no need to retype the letter for each new addressee. I can use a mailing list already placed in system storage by conventional data processing. Word processing automatically combines the letter text with the mailing list, efficiently producing personalized letters. Suppose that a part of this letter is also used in many other letters. For example, the last paragraph. With a simple command, I can select that paragraph and give it a name, after which I can insert that text into other documents by another simple keyboard command. One of Datapoint's design objectives was to make the computer do complex tasks in simple fashion. Document formats are a good example. Even with minimum training, any operator can create a new document and simply let the system automatically endow it with standard margins, spacing, page length, and so on. We call this default format. It's what you get if you don't know what you want. You can always change it, then or later. Another way to get a format is to borrow it. That is, tell the system to make the document take on the shape and style of some other existing document. such as this newsletter. Of course, with word processing, you can also create a format, a document containing a different kind of standard shape that any user can call up as needed, such as the executive memo, or the customer response, or the press release. Also, it's very easy to modify a format before beginning to edit by entering on this menu your changes in the document's form. Set up page length, line spacing, paragraphing, page headers, footers, page numbering, or any other values required. And finally, you can always modify a format while editing by changing one value at a time, as you've already seen us do. Pretty good, huh? Well, now it's time to talk about how versatile word processing is, how much more it can do than just letters and memos. You can also use it to produce mailing lists, reports, or any other business document, even ones with unusual shapes. This price schedule, for example, has a horizontal format, 14 inches wide instead of the usual 8.5. Still, they appear on the word processing screen as they will in print. By holding down one key, the operator can view and change any part of it, up to as wide as 140 columns. But that's not all. Suppose a document contained this column of figures. With word processing, the amounts could be automatically aligned on either their decimal points or their leading numbers as desired. Moreover, the simple English commands in word processing let you skip lines, inset the left margin, delete blocks of text, start a new page, insert a block of text or another whole document into the one being modified. Find a word or phrase, or not only find it once, but find it everywhere in a document, and change it too. In short, anything an author, editor, clerk, or secretary would ever want to do with written material. But as good as all this is, it's only a beginning, because producing documents is just the first step in the office paperwork process. Storing and retrieving them are important too. And it's to this problem area that Datapoint word processing brings even greater speed and efficiency with AIM, the Associative Index Method, a way to retrieve documents by date, by addressee, even just a word or phrase. Suppose a question has come up regarding a letter sent on November 5th. In response to a simple keyboard query, word processing displays a list of all documents with that date. This way of combining the best capabilities of human memory with computer memory means we no longer have to recall documents by abstract or title or by number alone. Instead of looking for them by how they are stored, we can find them by what we need to know. For example, say all you can remember is a topic. The letter contained the words platinum alloy. We can search for that particular combination of letters. AIM will then show us not only the names of all documents containing them, but also every line in which that word combination occurs. And that, in turn, refreshes the human memory with the context of the subject. It helps us find things by association. So, that's just a glimpse of word processing from Datapoint. We began by saying that if your computer can only do data processing, it can't do enough. So now we should point out that the other way around is also true. If your computer can only do word processing, it can't do enough. Datapoint word processing workstations can do both word processing and data processing. And they can communicate with each other or do inquiry into other computers. They can, in short, do anything, which is the way it should be. Word processing, you see, is a program that runs on Datapoint large-screen workstations and costs you nothing extra. It comes with the hardware, and word processing is just one part of Datapoint's integrated electronic office, whose other components include data processing for the rapid conversion of business data into useful management information, the electronic message system for efficient transfer of information throughout a business, and voice communications management, a way to bring the soaring cost of telephone use under direct management control. Start with any one of these components and add more as the need arises. You don't need separate systems for them. The same modular, compatible, expandable equipment works without change for each function. Word processing, a way to unleash business productivity. From Datapoint.